Okay, I want to welcome everybody. My name is Dr. Bridget Phillips, and I work with the Office of Educator Development and Support as a coordinator. The purpose of today's session is just to give you a very brief overview of the Office of Educator Development and Support, and then the supports that we provide to the counties and to the teachers that fall on that teaching continuum, all the way from pre-service teachers through our teacher leadership and our experienced teachers. Before we begin, I just want to remind everybody that non-degree graduate credit is available for certificate renewal, and the website's there, but at the end of the session we will also include the website in the chat box, so it'll make it easier for you. There's also a required survey, and this is an evaluation, but it also counts towards your attendance. So we ask that you complete that if you wouldn't mind. And we really use those surveys and evaluations to help us to improve what we do. That link will also be included at the end. And then I'm going to go through these very quickly because we have 30 minutes together, and I'm going to be focusing on 4 areas that I oversee. And so if you happen to be interested in any of the trainings or any of the areas that we discussed today, I'm going to go ahead, and I have another survey which is not required, but it's going to be available to you. So if you want some additional information, you can include your information in that survey, and it asks for what area you're interested in. You can put all 4, or if you think your county might be interested in us coming to the county to provide these trainings, we can do that as well. Just include that on the survey. So that, like I said, is not going to be mandatory, but it will be available. So for today's session, I'm going to go through my presentation and share this information with you. And then at the end, I'm going to give us some time to do some question and answer. If you have any questions as we go through here, please feel free to stop me, but I know that I will provide some time at the end so that you have some time to ask questions. So I want to introduce, first of all, myself. Like I said, I'm Dr. Bridget Phillips. I work as a coordinator here at the Office of Educator Development and Support. I've been with the department since May of 2019, so just a little over a year. My emphasis is on professional learning, and so what I oversee is Teacher Academy or Teacher Induction, which includes Teacher Academy, mentor training for the state. I oversee national board certification, and I oversee the West Virginia Master Educator Fellows. So I'll talk about those 4 things today, but I wanted to introduce our office. Our office is pretty new to the department, and it was, prior to January of 2020, it was part of the Office of Certification, and leadership decided that they wanted to split that office into 2, and so they created the Office of Educator Development and Support. Our focus is on retention and recruitment and retention of teachers. And as you can see from the graphic on the left-hand side, we have our foot in all of those things, and I look at it as a wheel. So that gives us a quick snapshot of what we do, all the way from recruitment, preparation, all the way through teacher leadership and teacher celebrations. So our focus is on retention, and if you notice, the word retention is not there, but it does it's included in all spokes on that wheel. We work very closely with the department or the Office of Certification, but their focus is on certification. So that's a little bit about our office. I want you to think about why it's so important to focus on retention and recruitment and keeping teachers in our field. And one reason is because national research shows, and in research in the last 10 years shows, that 50% of teachers leave our profession within the first 5 years. That is very high, and it costs the counties a lot of money, because if you think about it, you spend all that time preparing your new teachers, and then they leave, and then you have to prepare the teachers that come into their place. Turnover adds very high cost to counties, and so that is our goal and our focus here at the Office of Educator Development and Support. We want to provide counties with support so that they can retain those teachers. And research also shows that teachers that remain in the profession are because they've received the correct amount of support throughout their entire career. So it's not just about supporting teachers in their first few years, it's about supporting teachers throughout their whole career. Also, we have to consider that teachers that are brand new teachers typically are in high needs areas, and then they leave those high needs areas. So the ultimate goal, of course, is student achievement. And so our goal here at the Office of Educator Development and Support is to provide that support so that we can keep those teachers in the, in the long term, then student achievement will improve. So the first area I'm going to talk about is our Teacher Academy, and this is part of the teacher induction that we support. The West Virginia Department of Education Teacher Academy has different choices for teachers. Now, it is not just for beginning teachers. Many teachers across the state have taken advantage of these courses. And if you look at the menu of courses, there are in areas that of interest for teachers for their entire career. So for instance, if you're looking at menu B, we have a creating a trauma sensitive school session, and that is really important, especially now with everything that's going on. We have to be able to provide emotional and social support, social and emotional support for students. And so that helps to give teachers some tools on how they can face some of those issues. The way it works is that each person that attends the Teacher Academy will choose a session or a course from menu A, menu B, and menu C. And when they complete those three choices, then they can apply for graduate credit through through either West Virginia University, Marshall University, and I'm in the process of getting an agreement with Concord University for a very reduced cost. Like I said earlier, it's not just for beginning teachers. Any teacher is welcome, and they could pick and choose from the menu items. If they want, they can choose 3 menu items one year, and then the following year they can choose another 3. So they can get up to 6 graduate credit hours. And this is all research based, and it provides lots of instructional strategies for teachers. Typically, it's 3 face-to-face sessions for menu A and menu B, and then menu C is an online book study. But this year we are in the process of transitioning that to online courses. So you would have menu A and menu B courses in the fall, and then you can take the online book study in the spring. And then when you finish all 3 of those, then you would be eligible for graduate credit, like I said, at a very reduced rate. So information for that will be available soon, and the Teacher Academy will be up and ready in the fall. So that's the website there. But at the end, we're gonna take a look at our Office of Educator Development and Support website, and I can show you where you can find information on that. The next area I'm going to talk about is mentoring, and this is actually part of both teacher induction and teacher leadership. The West Virginia Department of Education took over the role of providing professional learning sessions for teachers that want to become mentor teachers to beginning teachers. Now, each individual county has their own plan that they submit to the state, laying out the guidelines of how they're going to provide support for teachers that are beginning teachers, pre-service teachers, which includes both student teachers and resident teachers, experienced teachers, and then their other staff. And that plan is called the West Virginia SIP plan. SIPP, and that stands for the Support for Improved Professional Practice. So each individual county provides that plan to the state. Some counties, many counties, require this mentor training to be part of the teacher induction so that they go through the mentor training and then they are ready to be mentors to beginning teachers. We know that mentors in teacher induction is a whole range of different things that you can do to provide support for beginning teachers, but the most important part of that teacher induction is the mentor. So we provide 2 complete days of training and it's based off Charlotte Danielson's work of her a framework for teaching, and it comes out of the New Teacher Center, which is out of Santa Cruz, California. We have been providing this training across the state for many teachers, and once they once they take that 2 days, they will receive a digital certificate saying that they've completed that training. Several counties across the state require that mentor training before you can apply to be a mentor teacher. So if you've already taken it, you're done. You don't have to take it again. As far as the state's concerned, there's no other follow-up training, but you would have to contact your county to see if there's any additional training on top of those 2 days. We do ask people that completed that training prior to 2006. That was a totally different training. So if you've already completed the mentor training, but it was prior to 2006, then you would need to take that again. But we can provide counties with a list of teachers that have gone through that mentor training. And we can also provide counties, we can do county specific training. Two full face-to-face trainings is what it usually is, but we've converted it to virtual sessions, which we had our first virtual session this past week, and it was a real success. We had 120 teachers that are now ready to be mentors. It really is wonderful professional learning, and it's one of my favorite things to do here at the department. All right. Another area for professional growth for teachers is what's called the West Virginia Master Educator Fellows. And this is just another pathway for teachers to take to become teacher leaders. Not every teacher wants to leave the classroom and become an administrator. So this is just one way that we can provide another pathway for teachers to become teacher leaders. In October of 2019, the state superintendent sent out a survey to county superintendents asking for recommendations of people who may want to be master educator fellows in West Virginia. And our goal is to get up to at least 120, maybe even more, of teachers across the state who are considered master educators, and we will provide them orientation and training, and then they would go out into their regions and be available for county superintendents or county leadership to contact to come and provide professional learning in their counties. So currently our phase 1, we have 70 educators that we are going to send out an invitation to become a master educator fellow. And then our phase 2, we're going to add to that. Now that is for every teacher, pre-K through 12th grade. So if you know someone in that programic level, then you can have them or actually give a recommendation. But we're going to cover, for this first year, we're focusing on elementary reading, elementary math, secondary reading, secondary math, and then science and social studies. And what we'll do is once they have been oriented and trained, then we will provide the county superintendent lists of people in their area who are on this, who are a master educator fellow, and then they can contract with those people to come and provide professional learning. That's just to help build that capacity for professional learning, and also to give teachers, like I said, another pathway to become teacher leaders in our state. All right, and the final area I'm going to talk about today is national board certification. And this is one area that we as a state need to be very proud of. We are one of only 24 states in the country that provide stipends and incentives for teachers who become national board certified. And currently we have 1,046 teachers in West Virginia that have gotten their national board certification. The West Virginia Department of Education, the West Virginia Board of Education, and the legislature know the importance of getting these national board certified teachers in front of us, in front of our students. So they are very supportive, and they provide many supports, which I'm going to talk about now. The first one is, if you go through national board certification and you successfully certify, you will receive a stipend from the state of $3,500. That's for the life of your certification. In the past, certification was 10 years, and then you had to do a renewal. Now the National Board for Professional Teaching Standards has changed that, and now it's every 5 years. You don't have as much work to do. It's a smaller amount of work, and it's a shorter amount of time. So you will receive that stipend for the life of your certification. And then on the 5th year, you would have to maintain, they call it maintenance of certification, which is basically just like renewal, but you have to maintain your certification in order to continue that stipend. On top of that, many counties across the state provide additional financial stipends or other incentives for their teachers to become national board certified. Sometimes they provide professional learning days, they provide use of their equipment, anything. When I was in Kanawha County, I became national board certified in 2010. So I got the state stipend, and then Kanawha County gave me an additional $1,500. So basically I made an additional $5,000 a year for being national board certified. It's not just about the money though. It is a very difficult process. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it was the most rewarding professional learning process for me. I was at a place in my career that I just felt kind of stuck. And so doing this really helped me to become a better professional. So I get really excited about national board certification. On top of the stipends, the state will also reimburse teachers for their entire fee for what it costs. I think it's $1,950. So once and there's a process, and we can talk about that during our sessions that we have for awareness and support. But by the end of the time that you're done submitting your components, you will be able to get reimbursed your entire fee for national board certification. On top of that, they provide an additional $600, and it's for other non-consumable items, like things like paper or ink, or if you join a cohort and you travel, they will pay mileage. Anything that's related to your national board certification, they will give you an additional $600. Now, our office provides support in the form of awareness and support sessions, and we offer those in the summer. And these are for teachers who are just interested in maybe becoming national board certified. So the awareness day is a full day of professional learning, and we take candidates through the entire process of how to register and how to submit your components, and give you an idea of the whole process. The other 2 days, which are called National Board Support Days, are for digging much deeper into your certification area. They talk about different types of writing. They give you support for how to videotape. And then so by the time that teachers are done with the 3 days of awareness and support, they have a really good idea of the process and the expectations. So because they attend those days, the awareness and support does not necessarily mean they have to become national board certified, but it gives them a real understanding of the whole process for national board certification. And teachers that complete those 3 days have options of either joining cohorts, which are supported by the state, or they can request a one-to-one mentor. And what the cohorts do, they are national board certified teachers lead these cohorts. There's 8 across the state, and they meet monthly, and they provide support for teachers going through their first year. So we will provide stipends to the cohort leads for helping people get through their first year of certification. Also for the mentors, we provide stipends for mentors. So these are just options for you to do. You don't necessarily have to join cohorts, but a lot of times people are more successful when they have other people around them that are going through the same process. They can also get graduate credit hours if they attend all 3 days of awareness and support, and they complete or they participate actively in the cohorts or with the mentor. Then they can apply for graduate credit hours both in the fall and in the spring, so they can get up to 6 graduate credit hours. And then the last support that we provide is a renewal or a maintenance of certification session. So like I said earlier, every 5 years your national board certification will expire, and so you have to maintain that certification. So we provide a day of professional learning that goes through the process of what to expect when you have to do your renewal or your mentor or your maintenance of certification. So those are all the areas that we provide support. This year we took the national board awareness and support, and we provided virtual sessions for that, and it was pretty successful. We had it a couple weeks ago, and so they still will get credit for those 3 full days. They were facilitated by National Board Certified Teachers, so they are ready to go for their next session, for their next step, I mean, in pursuing National Board Certification. So if you want any information about our sessions that we'll offer next summer, you can complete that survey that's at the end. We'll give you that survey. You don't have to complete that, but you can. Oop, I did not want to do that. Actually, I did. So I'm going to go ahead and visit our Office of Educator Development and Support website, so you can see where you can find additional information on this. So I hope you can see this.
Your PowerPoint is still up.
Oh, it is? Okay. Let me go out. Thank you, Brooke. That's why I have Brooke here. So let me go ahead and unshare. Okay. Can you see that now, Brooke?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so here is our website, and as you can see from our first slide, we go all the way from recruitment to preparation, teaching standards, and then development and support and teacher leadership. The development and support and teacher leadership, also you can find that information here under professional learning. So I'm going to click on that, and I'll show you where you can find information. Here is information on mentor training, National Board Certification, Teacher Academy, and then the West Virginia Master Educator Fellows. So this is our website here. I also want to point out too, if you have not had an opportunity to visit our the WVDE website on COVID-19, there are a lot of resources here for teachers, and we'll have that in the chat box too, but here you have information on re-entry, you have guidance documents, and all kinds of information. So if you have not had an opportunity to visit that, I recommend that you do that. And I know I went through these very quickly, but I want to give everybody an opportunity to ask questions. So I'm going to put our office, the members of our office, our contact information up for you to look at, and then we will we can look at answering any questions that you might have. I'm just going to do this for just a second. So Carla Warren is our director, and then everyone else is included on that as well. We could put that information in the chat as well. So let's see if you have any questions. I'm going to go to the chat. Let me go up here so I don't miss. Does a National Board Certified Teacher receive $3,500 annually? Yes, they do. For the life of your certificate, you will receive $3,500 from the state. And like I said, many of the counties provide support in the form of stipends as well on top of that. So you would have to contact your county leader, or your county personnel director, to see. Some counties provide teacher prep days or professional learning days. So that's you would have to contact your county to find out. And there are some counties that don't provide additional stipends, but they provide other things. Can non-United citizen apply for National Board Certification? I will double check that. I'm almost 90% positive that yes, but I will double check that, and I can respond to you through email. I believe it has to do with the institution that you received your teaching certificate in originally from outside the United States. Another thing that you can do, and I'll type it in the chat, is National Board has a line, a telephone line that you can call and answer, or if you go to the National Board for Professional Teaching Standards site, you can ask them for more clarification on that. It says National Board certification was pushed big time in Marshall. How did it help you become a better teacher? It was such a reflective process. That's a good question, Heather. A very reflective process. It's not anything you don't do. So there's 4 components that you focus on, but anything that it just made me a better educator. It made me more conscientious of the professional teaching standards and what I did and what I needed to do to improve as an educator, but also what I was doing right. And so it's kind of, it just made me a better professional that way. I forgot. Let me put the rest of this in there. TEACH 1-800-22-TEACH is the phone number. Thank you, Brooke. Let me go up, make sure I didn't. And what if you are attending college already? Do you have any support for that, like helping pay for classes? For tuition reimbursement, I know that there's specific certifications that you can get reimbursed for. I will find the person that you can contact, and I can email you that of who is in charge of that, but there are specific certifications that you can get reimbursed for. And here I will post the QR code for the evaluation as well. Do you have to be an active full-time teacher to become a Master Educator Fellow? Yes. Typically, how long does the NBC take? You have a 5-year process. You have 3 years to submit your 4 components, and then if you have to do retakes, you have an additional 2 years for that. So basically, you have 5 years to become certified. And the awareness days for National Board are only in the summer, correct? I'm going to go ahead and post the evaluation, the QR code right now, so you have that. And if we have any additional questions that we didn't answer, I will go through the chat and answer them as well. And here is the, can you see that, Brooke?
No.
Okay, let me try it again. Sometimes if I just reshare my screen.
And Bridget,
Mm-hmm.
the final evaluation link that you gave me is the registration link. So.
Okay, so I'll have that on, let me go here. There we go. There's the survey evaluation, and then there's the, can you see that yet?
No.
I don't know why it's not sharing correctly. I apologize.
There you go.
Okay, sorry about that. It kept not sharing. So here's that you can either use the QR code, and I'll move this box so you can see the whole link, or you can do that link there, the Instructional Support Professional Learning Forum.
That link, you'll need to click on that link, Bridget, because we don't have the capability of clicking on it.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Okay, you know what I'll do is I will get it and put it in the, just give me, I'm going to unshare and I'll put the survey in the chat.
Out. Oh, that's good. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Bear with me. I'm sorry, guys. There you go. Hope you can get that to it now. I apologize.